Hello and welcome to the Depot Show, a series of YouTube videos where I will be talking you through articles released on the World of Tanks website. I'm your host, Ixter101. A quick disclaimer to remind you that this is not in any way, shape or form an official series of content created by World of Tanks. Rather, it is merely my own personal content. And with that being said, let's begin. A few months ago, Wargaming finally announced the release of Update 1.18.1. It was led with a common test, followed by the actual release of the update. With this update came some interesting news. Good or bad news, depends on what your views are in the game, but interesting news nonetheless. Firstly, they announced some intriguing map changes, as well as some changes to the personal reserves, but we'll cover that in a future episode. What we're focusing on today is the introduction of 6th Sense as a free skill for all commanders. Wargaming announced that every commander, including the ones that have not yet been recruited since update 1.18.1, as well as all the ones recruited after, will be receiving 6th Sense for free as a special commander feature. This change presumably comes after years of new players complaining endlessly about the difficulties they face playing at low and mid tiers, primarily due to the skill level difference between new and veteran players at those tiers. New players are forced to choose between 6th Sense, Brothers in Arms, Repairs, Concealment, and several other crew skills, whereas veteran players will have several crew skills already available on their crews. Of course, adding 6th Sense to a commander for free is bound to make people unhappy, especially if they grinded for it. Therefore, Wargaming has given it to all commanders, and Wargaming have granted compensation XP for the amount of XP you would have grinded getting 6th Sense to your commander, which can be reinvested into another crew skill. The XP that would have gone to training your commander's 6th Sense will be reallocated towards getting the major qualification up to 100% if it's not already there. If this is the case, however, the XP will then be allocated towards whatever crew skill you're currently training until it reaches 100%, and any extra XP will then be passed on to the next crew skill you start training. Obviously, stating that XP that would have gone towards 6th Sense is being compensated for was bound to get people up in arms, especially when you consider 0 perks and 0 skills, which do not require XP. So Wargaming actually made a smart decision. Who would have thought? For any commander that would have had 6th Sense as a 0 perk, you can reassign that skill to any skill of your choice for free. So kudos to Wargaming for thinking of that. Keep in mind though, you can only do this once per crew member, so decide carefully. Now of course, players took to the forums to share their thoughts on the matter. One commenter wrote, "Wow, after all of this year, you finally done it and made the 6th Sense free for all." While another wrote, "Free 6th Sense, this is a good move, well done, took a while." And lastly, someone shared their happiness for being compensated by stating, "Thank you for understanding that we grinded most of those 6th Sense and giving the option to train another perk. Love it." All in all, it seems that the majority of the player base is pretty happy. But, you know, this is World of Tanks, and we can't let that slide. So let's discuss some reasons why someone might be unhappy with the proposed change. Firstly, a lot of players may argue that it's unfair that they had to grind through the game to get 6th Sense, whereas new players are getting a free handout. Despite being fairly compensated for their grind, there is still an argument to be made that grinding 6th Sense as opposed to having it for free when they started would have had an adverse effect on their statistics and performance in the game, something which new players will not have to struggle with. Furthermore, there's always the entitled argument of "I had to grind, so you should have to grind too, because if I suffer, so should everyone else." Think what you will of these statements, but there is some slight validity to them, just not enough to justify nor acknowledge such complaints. Let's be clear though, odds are only a very marginal amount of players will make such an argument. It's a flawed mentality that doesn't deserve any credit or attention. That being said, this looks like a pretty interesting change, which I, as well as many other players, are looking forward to and greet with open arms. As for the if and how this will affect the experience of new players that are being onboarded into the game, only time will tell as we see them progress throughout the game in the coming months. So let me know what you think of these proposed changes, and if you're a new viewer that has come across this video after the implementation of this change, let me know in the comments down below how it's affecting your experience thus far. That's all from me today. I'll see you in the next episode. Oh hey, you're still here. Well, if you're looking for more content, here's a quick reminder that I stream on Twitch as well as post on Twitter and other social media platforms. I'll leave the link down below in the description. That being said, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, comment and let me know what you think down below, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss future content.